Hey world, my name is Sarah and for the last 3.5 years I've been living in this camper with my little dog Luna, stationary at a campsite which is rented at the German forest side. And in today's video I'm going to share with you how much money I spend living this way, how I afford this lifestyle, what I do for a living, how I keep my costs low while living my most happy and fulfilled life. And after the short intro, let's dig right in. I bought my camper for 12,000 euros 3.5 years ago, and I think 2 years ago I also added a roof on top of the camper because I had some moisture issues, but also to keep the heat in the summer more away and also to not hear rain that loud. And the roof did cost me, including installation and stuff, an additional 5,000 euros. I pay 200 euros every month for living costs here at the campsite, which includes 120 euros for rent, 10 euros for water, 20 euros for electricity, and 50 euros for gas. I shower cold every day, but once a week I take a hot shower here at the campsite, which adds up to around 4 euros a month. And I also spend around 21 euros every month on laundry, and here on the campsite there are laundry machines that I use for that. For phone service and Wi-Fi I spend 45 euros a month, and for my dog's food I spend around 50 euros per month, while I spend around 350 euros per month for my own food, which also includes things like hygiene projects when I need a soap basically, or like sunscreen, something like that. I spend around 200 euros per month for gas. I have a car which I really have to use because I live here very, very far away from like cities, and it just wouldn't make any sense to use the trains or to only rely on trains and like the bike. I have to drive to work, and also I visit friends which don't live nearby or not that nearby. I like drive once a week for an hour usually to friends, and that's something that's just adding up for the gas costs. I spend around 100 euros per month for things like paid activities or going to a restaurant, which I will definitely not do every month because I just like to cook and I just don't want to spend my money on food that can be also simply cooked in here. And also things like little unplanned purchases, like if something breaks or if I need something new. And then the last category is my saving account expenses. So I spend 290 euros every month to my saving account, which is the reason why I have the same costs every month. And including in these 290 euros, there is 100 euros for every insurances that I have or for insurances, and 130 euros for things like going to the doctor with my dog or some really necessary things that I have to buy, or if something breaks, for example, if I need like a new window in the camper or if something very important needs to be replaced on the camper, but also in my life in general. I also save 60 euros per month, which add up, and on top of that comes 1,000 euros that I get every year around Christmas from my job, which adds up to a total in a year of 1,720 euros, which I spend on things like vacations, traveling, going to a workshop, or also buying new clothes. Usually only when my old clothes like break, because I want to keep my clothes minimalistic. And I buy clothes usually secondhand, but also sometimes I buy like high quality, costly, eco-friendly clothes. So like I think in general my clothes, or what I spend on clothes, is like an average amount, because secondhand is very cheap, eco-friendly, high quality is very expensive. And this adds up to a total of 1,260 euro that I need every month, which actually is perfect because with the job that I do, I earn 1,300 euros a month, plus the 1,000 euros that I get around Christmas. At the time, I work at an office with 20 euros per month. And at the time, this works pretty well for me because I have the time to spend more time on my passions that I definitely want to make an income one day. But at the time where I'm at, this job keeps the money getting in, and for now it's totally fine that way. So let's talk a bit about what keeps my costs low. Of course, my lifestyle, like living in a camper here at the forest side, is something that's very cheap compared to a flat or any other living situation, I guess. Also, the fact that I don't travel with my camper makes me have less gas costs. I mean, I do have some gas costs because I drive to work, which is not very nearby, and because my friends don't live nearby. But I think that would be the case in every other living situation where you live more along nature than like in the city. I use propane gas bottles here in my camper for heating and for cooking, which is like the standard you would have in a camper. And I use that less gas and electricity because I don't shower warm and because I heat much less in the winter than usual, because I just don't think that's good for the environment. And actually there are many reasons why I do this, but that definitely keeps my gas costs down. And also I don't use my fridge or cool my food in any possible way. So these are definitely facts that keep my monthly expenses here at the campsite lower as well. I nearly never eat takeout or go to a restaurant. Maybe I go to a restaurant like every 1 or 2 months. Also, I eat like vegetarian, which I think is cheaper than if you would buy meat that is like high quality. But I do buy organic food most of the time, not in an organic store at the time because I don't have the money for that at the moment. But I do buy organic food at a usual store. I don't do unnecessary purchases and I don't do impulse shopping. I only want to buy what I really want and what really brings value to my life, so that definitely keeps the costs down as well. Also, I have free hobbies or hobbies that don't cost much. For example, I do yoga. I only need my yoga mat for that. I like to meditate, I like to go for walks, I like to visit my friends, which usually only costs gas. I like to play the guitar, I like to do YouTube videos, and all of these things don't have any kind of monthly fee to them. My physical and mental health are very important to me, and I feel like being a person like that, you just automatically spend less money and also live more sustainable, because you make usually choices in your life that align with sustainability and health, and nearly never compensate for things that don't work well in my life, because I have the time to do things that do me good and that just add up to my happiness, and I don't spend my money on things that only compensate the fact that I need to get more money to then compensate again. I think true fulfillment comes from the luxury of having a life that you don't need vacation from, a life that you don't need to compensate from, a life where you have the time to make healthy choices and to fulfill the dreams that you always had, and to have the time to reflect yourself. And for me, it's the most luxurious thing to be able to live this close to nature, to have this view every day, to walk in the forest, to be able to move freely, to be able to eat healthy foods, to be able to sit in the forest for hours if I want to be able to play the guitar and to do my yoga and to do my YouTube videos, and not needing to schedule it in a very tiny bit of time because I have so much more time. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions around the topic or want to know more about some things, just write in the comment. And this being said, I wish you all a good day or night whenever you're watching this, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.